Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a true nerd and welcome to Storyteller, a sort of a narrative puzzle game which came out earlier this year and I have completely fallen in love with. So, what you're seeing here is basically a series of comic book panels. You can set the scene with these symbols over here on the left, you've got characters over here on the right. Your job is to create a story, specifically the story you're prompted to create. So this is one of the early tutorial missions, it's nice and simple, seeing the ghost of a lover. So let's start off with the scene of love, introduce Adam and Eve into that story, and oh my goodness, because we put Adam and Eve into the love scenario, they've fallen in love. Next up, we've got set up, yes, a ghost. So as a result of that, dear oh dear, Adam passed away, and Eve as a result of that is incredibly sad about that, and that's the trick here. Everything's got to be consistent. So if I take this scene out, for example, all of a sudden, Adam and Eve have never met. So now, like, you know, she's found a gravestone with Adam on it, but she doesn't know what that means. She's never met the guy before. However, if we bring him back at this point, he's now flipping dead. So Eve is now, you know, seeing a ghost, but it's not the ghost of a lover because they never fell in love in the first place. And apparently she can't just, you know, fall in love with a ghost because that's a bit scary. So, you know, how about we just restore them falling in love in the first place, and as soon as we do that, everything flipping updates, and as a result of that, yes indeed, she's now heartbroken because she was in love with Adam, and now when she sees the ghost, it is the ghost of her lover, and the story is complete. Nice easy starting point, but yes, things could get a bit complicated as time goes by. Okay, here we go. We have now got to tell the story, everyone rejects Edgar, which just made me feel, you know, a bit bad for Edgar. So okay, we've got to get everybody hating Edgar. So Edgar, presumably, yes, can't be put in the marriage scene with Lenora, otherwise the story's gone wrong already, alright? Edgar, unfortunately, just like, I don't know, smells of cheese or something. So nobody wants to marry Edgar. Instead, Edgar should come down over here, because, yes, if we put Bernard, the jester, together with Isobel, now Bernard and Isobel are in love, meaning if I was to try and set up a secondary wedding between Edgar and Isobel, good evil face there, Isobel, by the way, love that evil smirk. Okay, Edgar's now been rejected because Isobel's married to Bernard, and honestly, Edgar, it was kind of inappropriate of you to even proposition her. Like, I'm not sure what you thought was going to happen in this church, but the woman is already married, damn it. Now, we could just do the same thing again for Bernard, because, okay, basically, Edgar's just looking a bit desperate. Basically, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, he booked the church, he bought all the wedding stuff, and now he's keen not to lose out on it. However, we do have a problem, which is, there's nothing to stop Bernard getting together with Lenora. So, okay, what we've got to do here is we've got to get Lenora hitched with one of Bernard and Isobel. So the only way to do that, unfortunately, is for one of these two to die. So there we go. Isobel's now heartbroken because her husband's died. Though, hilariously, yes, if you put, you know, Edgar on the tombstone, she doesn't remember who that was. He's the weird guy who propositioned you with marriage after you were already married, Isobel. But okay, apparently for you, that was just some weird Thursday several years ago. Dear oh flipping dear. So okay, it's got to be Bernard. That means she's heartbroken. But fortunately, now she's willing to find love with Lenora, though I'm going to be honest. With that evil smirk, I feel like possibly she was into Lenora all along. And yes, you killed Bernard in some capacity. They're now married, and because they're now married, as a result, Edgar now can't marry Lenora, though he could also be visited by the mysterious ghost of Jester Bernard, which is excellent, but no. There we go. Edgar now gets rejected by everybody, so yes, that's the puzzle part of it, though personally, I just enjoy coming up with dumb alternative stories. Okay, me and this game are on the same page. It agrees that Isobel has blatantly got some evil stuff going on. Because Edgar's looking worried, Lenora's looking worried, and Isobel apparently is going to be committing a crime. So, okay. we have got wedding, we have got poison, we have got wine. So, right. Obviously, I'd say yes, Edgar and Lenora are happily married, which means, unfortunately, Isobel, who would love to marry Lenora, dear oh flippy dear, it's not going to work out. So, right. Lenora is still very much in love with Edgar, so that is not going to work out. But what's this? The now spurned Isobel has a plot, and I assume, yes, if you, like, put anyone else in here. Yes, Edgar's like, why would I want poison? I don't need poison. I'm having a lovely time being married to Lenora. Oh, but flipping Isobel, though, she's got a motive, so she's willing to actually pick it up. So then we set up the wine, but unfortunately, okay, tragedy of tragedies, what if the wrong person drank the wine? And, oh, okay, I've just successfully completed Objective A. Obviously, the intended story should probably be Edgar drinks the wine, meaning as a result of that, that opens up the possibility of these two getting married thereafter, a much happier ending, and then also, Isobel just enjoys drinking some wine and looking very smug about herself. But no. There's a secondary objective. Everybody meets their demise. So, okay. How do I engineer this? So in 6 panels, literally everybody dies. Because presumably, if I was to... Yes, obviously Isobel's not going to drink poison because she knows about it. Because everything is, consistent from panel to panel. So you then go to here. Is anyone else allowed in this spot? No, only one person's allowed in that scene. But now the wine isn't poisoned anymore. Though hilariously, I can also bring the ghost of Lenora into the church, and she is not amused that Isobel killed her, even though it was by accident. Though, oh. Okay, hang on. No, unfortunately, the ghost cannot tell Edgar the truth about what happened. Possibly because, okay, she does know because she's haunting Isobel, like, in a nasty way. But apparently, like, she can't speak. Maybe ghosts just can't speak. So what we've got now is, what we've got now is, Lenora is dead. And everybody was in love with Lenora. Edgar loves Lenora. Isobel loves Lenora, meaning as a result of that, the only way that everyone could die would be is, by any chance, is everybody, like, so upset about Lenora being dead that, like, we could do a double Romeo and Juliet here? Oh, yeah, he's flippin' doing it. He's drinking the poison, and Isobel, you too, because honestly, you should be drinking the poison, like, first, if anything, because, yes, you've actually killed the person you loved, so you should be, like, extra double sad, and Edgar too, and now everybody dies. So the secondary story is, yes, even more ridiculously sad. Okay, 6-part story here. The detective arrests an innocent, so we've got 2 scenes, the gun and the ballroom, but, okay. The gun is a prop, meaning its location is consistent. So, hang on. Just check how everyone responds to this. We've got the detective, who needs to ultimately arrest the wrong person. We've got the Duchess, who doesn't like the gun. The Duke, who really likes the gun. And the butler, who did it because, of course, the butler did it. So, as a result of that, going forwards, yes, the gun stand is now empty, which logically would mean, yes, the Duke is freaked out that the gun's gone missing, the Duchess is also suspicious, and the detective is suspicious too. So okay, 2 suspicious and the Duke is freaking out. And I'm going to work under the assumption that yes, the butler is going to potentially assassinate anyone he runs into. Yes, he's happy to murder the Duchess, or indeed the Duke, and the detective... No, him, he's just willing to hide a gun from. And honestly, this is a bad detective. You literally know a gun has gone missing, my friend. You should definitely be more suspicious about the person hiding something behind their back. But okay, you're going to assassinate the Duke. And your reason for doing that might be... hang about, let's just check how you guys get on. Oh. Okay, you didn't like the Duke. The Duke just basically sends you to get drinks all the time. So... what happens just out of interest if, like, you know, the Duke's a bit thirsty, and that's all that happens? So, he brings the right drink, and then the king demands. Does the king just keep cocky demanding more and more different drinks? He keeps changing his mind. Okay, this is why the butler just went and murdered this guy. He just got cocky sick of it. So, you know what? We could just bring these up to the start here. Just more of this. So basically, yes, the king sends the butler off to get a drink 4 times in a row. And then he's basically cocking had enough. And honestly, at that point, I feel like the jury wouldn't convict. Like, this is a perfectly fair, reasonable story. I like my story better. This Duke's a dick. He cocky deserved it. I'm starting to wonder whether we've actually got space to keep this one in, just so there is actually a motive in the story. So, okay. You go and get the gun. You then shoot him dead. Okay, so at that point, presumably, the detectives got to try and solve the murder. So you naturally go and put the gun back at that point. Back to this room. Detective is going to come here and... aha. Fingerprints. The problem is, yes, that's actually the person who did do it. So we've got to move you to here and have... oh... I think I see what's going on here. Unfortunately, yes, the wrong person has died. Because you, buddy, you caress your gun lovingly. Meaning, okay, do you also ask for a drink? Okay, he's also unimpressed with her. She also apparently, by the looks of it, just keeps doing that over and over again. So, now, you assassinate her. And now, the Duke has been framed. Though sadly, yes, if we want to actually have the arrest, we've got to take the motive out of the story. Dear oh flipping dear. And then, back in the ballroom, due to the overwhelming forensic evidence, you, sir, are under arrest for the crime of murder. Though honestly, I think I prefer my story of, yes, a humble butler who was just pushed too bloody far by a Duke and Duchess who couldn't decide what they wanted to drink. Okay, the Usurper Dies. So, what we've got here is, yes, a throne, a kidnapping, and an execution, together with a queen who is, right, obviously, starting off as the queen. Presumably, therefore, okay, the Baron desperately wants to be king. Got it. The knight, however, okay, he's just a loyal servant of the queen. He doesn't particularly care about the crown. That's a-okay. So presumably, yes, we've got a couple of spots here, but if I had to guess, only the person with the crown is allowed to actually be on the throne ordering executions. Though presumably, yes, she'll only do it if, yes, she doesn't actually like them. So she's okay with the Baron, though, oh, the Baron knows he's on thin ice. Alright, he's worried there. There's definitely a bead of sweat going on. So okay. What if, for example, the Baron decided to kidnap the Queen in order to get hold of the throne? Meaning, the crown's now available, though, instead of interest. Okay, the knight's not willing to take it. He's too honourable. The Baron, however, he's now the king. Beautiful. Meaning, unfortunately, the Queen is presumably, yes, still in prison. At that point, the knight rescues her. Marvellous. So, okay, she's now free. The problem is that she's no longer queen. So, as a result of that, in the event of, yes, an execution, she no longer has the right to order executions. On the contrary, I imagine, yes, he's probably going to start killing people as soon as possible. However, now that the knight knows about this, would the knight be willing to, yes, actually kidnap the Baron because the Queen gave him a motive to do so? Meaning, as a result of that, the Queen is now back in power, and the Queen can order the execution of the usurper, though. Okay. Same story, but arrange it by the hand of the knight. Now, for the knight to do that, the knight needs to become... oh. The knight needs to become king. Now, the knight won't become king while he thinks the queen is alive, for the simple reason that, yes, the knight is honourable and stuff. But, just take all of this away for the time being. If the Baron who's now king, decided to execute the queen, which he's allowed to do, okay, at that point, the knight might be willing to become king. And the knight would be willing to kidnap the baron because you just killed the queen. Meaning now, it's okay for you to seize the throne. Though, oh my goodness, he looks so sad about it. That's adorable. So, okay. This is basically the way the largest number of people die. Gotcha. So at that point... Okay, a ghost can also just show up to the execution. And he's apparently pretty freaked out by that. No. The Baron, there we go. The usurper's dead, and it was the knight that did it, who also gets to be king now. So okay, that's a much more violent resolution. Okay, a monster is slain. So what we've got here is, okay, a forest, a full moon, and presumably, right, as we put these up, they alternate between a full moon and not. A disguise, and the professor. So okay, we've got Bernard the Jester, together with the Baron. They apparently don't really know each other. They're just like, you know, mutual acquaintances and whatnot. But let's just check here. Okay, the Baron really enjoys going for, you know, a nice walk in the full moon. I'm guessing... Right. Bernard, as it turns out, is a werewolf. Meaning, yes, if he were to be exposed to the half moon, he will transform back. So yes, going forward, until he runs into the half moon, he's now a werewolf. Meaning, if he runs into the Baron... he just eats the Baron, meaning, going forward. The Baron's now a half a Baron. Amazing. Hang on. Put the Professor in. If the Baron comes to see the Professor, I'm not 100% sure how the lower half of the Baron got to see the Professor. But like, oh, well, obviously, there's one reason that kind of makes sense, which is... what if Bernard used the lower half of the Baron as a battering ram to break down the door, meaning as a result of that, beautiful... But honestly, yes, I'm not sure we've really got time for any of that, though... Okay, if we just move you to here, actually. This entire scene moves to here, so... now it's just a meeting of two half people. This is delightful. Okay, this is fine. Bernard's just here. So, okay, now he changes back. Brilliant. And he goes to visit his old friend, the Professor... and feels very socially awkward about the entire situation. This isn't the story I'm supposed to be telling, but honestly I think it's a better story. I'm very happy with this story. Okay, just out of interest, the, yes, disguise situation. So, there is a disguise here. The werewolf is deeply confused by the disguise. Let's just change this to, yep, taking that out. You don't know what to do with the disguise. And you, buddy, you apparently enjoy dressing up as a dinosaur. Okay, you know what? That's fine, no trouble. And if yes, the dinosaur, dragon, whatever, runs into Bernard, Bernard gets a bit scared about that. But what if Bernard was... oh. Okay, at that point they're both kind of scared of the other. This is marvelous right here. So, okay. If the Baron goes to visit the Professor, yes, the Professor is a bit freaked out by this costume anyway. So, do you have to get, you know, redressed before visiting the Professor? So now you go and visit the Professor. Now he provides a gun, meaning now, out in the forest, the werewolf can be taken up with... boom. Though... oh. Okay. The werewolf dies... but the secondary solution is the dragon needs to die. So, okay. Okay. Hang on. I think I see how this is going to go here. Get rid of all of this. So you're just dressing up as a dragon because you're into that. And we're not going to shame you for it. Some people enjoy dressing up as dragons. But like, Bernard has just stumbled across you. And this is going to be very embarrassing all round. Unfortunately, Bernard's come up with the wrong idea. So as a result of that, just out into the lovely forest once again. Now you've got a gun, and now you can murder that guy. Beautiful. Then I'm kind of curious, like, we've still got 2 panels. Can you investigate? Oh, okay, he's now a ghost. And apparently, yes, the Baron doesn't really hold any grudge against the Professor, even though I feel like in many ways the Professor is morally culpable for the murder of the Baron under this particular scenario. In fact, we don't have space to arrange a double murder because you gave the werewolf the gun. The only thing more dangerous than a werewolf is a werewolf with a gun, damn it. Okay, so that's now a complete story. A real cocky tragedy here. The Professor gets the Baron killed by mistake and then himself gets eaten. Bad day for the Professor. Ooh, and we've got a big one here. Okay, how are we going to arrange 4 distinct tragedies for the Queen? So obviously, like, you know, the Queen's got to be kidnapped. She needs to be executed, probably at the very end. So someone's got to steal her crown. But that's only 2, so... oh. Okay. We've got to get the Queen married to someone who then gets... oh, hang on. Okay. Let's start off with, yes, the Queen losing her throne to the Baron. The Baron has stolen her throne from her and is now the king. Okay, tragedy number 1. So, back to kidnapping. You are now going to release the Queen, but unfortunately, yes, she's no longer Queen. So, as a result of that, you, buddy, are now going to get married to the Queen because you now love each other. So, okay, she's been kidnapped. She's lost her crown. Is that 2 tragedies or 1? Because logically at this point, okay, now the king starts, you know, killing some folks. Kills her husband and then kills her. Is this going to be an acceptable 4 tragedies? And apparently being kidnapped is a distinct tragedy from having the crown stolen. Okay, bad day for the Queen, I'm not gonna deny. Though I kind of prefer my version, where the Baron is smart enough to immediately execute the Queen's loyal knight, leaving her just, you know, chilling out in the basement by herself with no rescuer for the rest of the story. Okay, we're back in the Duke's House of Murders, but this time, the Duke has to shoot his detective to avoid prison. Because yes, we've got the Duke and the Duchess. They like each other, but just out of interest, by any chance, does... oh dear. The Duchess is also into the King. Though, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really sure, like, you know, the King is actually into this. So okay, with that, the Duke is now willing to draw the gun. But, going back over to, yes, ballroom... okay, he doesn't hold it against his wife. He holds it entirely against the King, and honestly, I feel bad for the King. The King is clearly not into this. Now our detective knows that the Duke was responsible. So, in the event that, yes, you... okay, we've got a problem. Because, yes, the gun's got to be put back for the detective to know that it was the Duke that did it. But if the gun's been put back, the Duke can't shoot the detective. Okay, clear all this out. I think I've got an idea, which is somebody has got to, yes, witness the situation. Now, it could be the detective. So now, the detective knows that the Duke did it, because he saw it himself. Which might mean, at this point, in the event the detective comes... well, now that's fascinating. The detective, even then, is too fast for the Duke. So in which case, the Duke has got to know the detective is about to arrest him. We've got to get another witness in play, don't we? And the witness has got to be the Duke. The Duke witnesses the detective who's having a think about this. He may be speaking to the Duchess. Okay. And that's how he knows he needs to shoot the detective dead. So okay, basically a lot of cocking spying needs to take place. So okay, this here is Storyteller and I kinda love it. And though it came out earlier this year, it did just get a whole bunch of new content, so now there's a whole bunch of alternate solutions. The devil's apparently gonna show up or something. And if you complete every story, you get a special crown, so... Okay, I'd say it's well worth a look-see, and I will be keeping a very close eye on what this team produces next, because if it's anything like this, we'll be seeing that down the line as well. So, hopefully, you're looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been the delightful Storyteller. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Jebediah Kerman has not exploded. Oh shit. Why did that happen? 5, 4, 3. Oh, I forgot to turn the thrust on. 5, 4. Is everything else? How is everything? Up to that point, that was going better than anyone expected.